We continue Unit 15 with simplifying other roots. There are roots other than square roots. There are cube roots, there are fourth roots, there are fifth roots, etc. Square roots just don't have the 2. It is understood to be in that little spot. When simplifying any root, the type of root tells us how many you need in each group to go out. Remember when we simplified square roots? Remember when we broke it down into prime factors? There was a pair of 3's and a 2 was left over, and that was our answer. So 3 times the square root of 2 is my answer. Well, simplifying other roots works the same way. First, we take 64 and we break it down into prime factors. Now, if I just wanted the square root, I could have stopped at 8 because there's already a pair. Break down 8 times 8 into 2 times 4 times 2 times 4. And I have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2's. Now I'm looking for groups of 5 because there is a 5 as the index. So if I pull out 5 2's, that leaves me with 2 times the fifth root of 2. That's my answer. So the index, this little 5, tells me how many I need to pull out. Example 2. Break 32 into prime factors, and we get 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. X to the 6, there's 6 x's. And the index here, which is a 4, tells me that I need to break this up into groups of 4. So start with 2. There are 4 2's with 1 left over. So I have 2, because it comes out front, times the fourth root of 2. But I also need to look at the x's. There are 4 x's with 2 left over. Remember, we pull that one out, and what's left over stays underneath the radical symbol. So my answer is 2x times the fourth root of 2x squared. Example 3. First thing I want to do is take out the negative sign, because negative times a negative is a negative, so that will come out. Now break down the 64, the a to the 6 and b to the 7th, and we are looking for groups of 3 because the index is a 3. At this point, I really could actually take out the 4's because I have 3 of those, but I will keep going just in case I don't recognize that piece of information. And now I have all my 4's simplified to their prime factors, which are 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2 and 2. And write down 6 A's and 7 B's. Now break these up into groups of 3. There are 3 2's right here, so that pulls out front of the radical symbol. There are also 3 more 2's, so that comes out. And there's no more 2's, so there is nothing left under here. There are 3 A's and 3 more A's, so I will pull each one of those out separately. There are 3 B's, which will pull out for 1 B. 3 more B's will give me another B to pull out. But there's 1 B left underneath the radical. This simplifies to be negative 4 times a squared times b squared times the cube root of b. Remember, when working with variables under the radical symbol, we can divide the exponent by the index. So a to the 6, if I divide that by 3, I get a squared, which is what I want. And b to the 7th, when I divide that by 3, it goes in there 2 times with 1 left over, which is exactly what I have here. Example 4. I need to go in groups of 5 because my index is a 5. I also want to pull out the negative sign at the very beginning. Any odd number index will give me a negative symbol here if there's a negative inside it. "32 breaks down to be 5 2s, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. If I break up the x's and the y's, my factors of 32 are 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Also, break down your factors of x and y. There are 5 x's and 10 y's. We are looking for the 5th root because the index is a 5. So I will pull out 5 2's. There are none left over, so I have nothing left under the radical symbol. Now we look at the variables. There are 5 x's, so I have none left over. There's nothing left under the radical symbol. There are 5 y's, so I go ahead and write that y down, and we are multiplying the 2, the x, and the y together. And one more set of 5's. Notice there is nothing left over to go underneath the radical symbol. And my answer is negative 2xy squared. Remember, we took the negative sign out at the beginning. Example 5. Remember, we can only combine if the numbers under the radical symbol are the same. So we have to simplify first. So start with the first term with the 4th root of 80. The index of 4 tells me I need to break it up in the groups of 4. So factoring 80, you get 8 times 10, 2 times 4, and 2 times 5, and ending with 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. In groups of 4, I have 4 2's, so that pulls out, and 1 5 left over, so I have a 4th root of 5. So that goes under my 12 times 80. Remember, we are multiplying the 2 times the 4th root of 5 to the 12. So I get 24 times the 4th root of 5 plus 18 times the 4th root of 5. Now that the numbers underneath the radical symbol are alike, I can combine the coefficients 24 and 18. 24 plus 18 is 42, and I get 42 times the 4th root of 5. Number 6. Number 6, we have groups of 3 because the index on these are 3's. Now we need to factor. 192 breaks down to be 2 times 2 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And 375 breaks down to be 3 5's and a 3. It's best if you get these in order, but so that you can see that there are 3 2's here, 3 2's here, and a 3's left over. So 192 breaks down to be 2 times 2 times the cube root of 3. And 375, since I have 3 5's there, that comes out, and I'm left with 5 times the cube root of 3. So my first term is 4 times the cube root of 3, and I'm just going to plug this up here underneath 192 since it's the same thing. I'll plug 5 times the cube root of 3 up here under cube root of 375, since those are the same, since the radical number under the radical is the same, and the indexes are the same, I can now add the coefficients together, and 5 plus 4 is 9. So my answer is 9 times the cube root of 3. Number 7. Here I have a fraction with a cube root on top and a cube root on bottom. If the root is the same, if the index is the same, we can put them under the symbol together and under the same symbol and simplify. So now I have the cube root of 48 divided by 2. And 48 divided by 2 is the cube root of 24. Now we can break down the cube root of 24. I'm looking for groups of 3 since my index is 3. And the cube root of 24 breaks down to be 2 times the cube root of 3. And that's it. Number 8. Here I have a cube root and there's a fraction under that cube root. I can do the opposite thing here. If it's a fraction, we can divide and work each separately. So I could break this to be the cube root of 27 divided by the cube root of 8. Well, the cube root of 27 is easy. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So the cube root of 27 is 3. The cube root of 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So the cube root of 8 is 2.